Today's topic, euthanasia available for some rape victims with incurable PTSD. Hey, what's going on? It's your girl here, back with another dose of news. So today, I read this story in the Daily Mail, and it was talking about this rape victim over in Holland, and they now over there it's legal to do euthanization. She, according to the story, she was sexually abused from the ages of 5 to 15, and she was in her 20s. She had multiple doctors, and all her doctors agreed that she had PTSD that was incurable and further treatment would be hopeless. It also says that her mental conditions included anorexia, chronic depression, obsessive and compulsions, tendency to self-harm, and suicidal mood swings. And she was also physically impaired and mostly bedridden. Didn't state what her physical limitations were and why she was bedridden. So here's my thoughts on this. Everyone has a right to do with their own body as they will. I don't believe that government should be getting in the middle of someone making a choice about their body. Government controls enough, especially here in the US, where our food supply, you can't even trace your food supply and tell where it comes from because it's all privatized. So for example, say you had steak or something, and you wanted to know, okay, well, what farm did this steak come from, and where's the meat processing plant, and you wanted to see it all the way from the farm all the way to your table. You wanted to see that supply chain distribution. You're not allowed. Many of the meat companies block that, but that's a whole separate issue. My point is that it's our bodies at the end of the day. It's the only thing that we do have that we should have complete freedom over as to how to treat it. I'm kind of split in the middle on this because I can see both sides. So euthanization, usually when I hear that word here in the US, we think, what is his name? Dr. Kevorkian. Was he still alive? But we think of him and how much trouble he used to get into for helping seniors go ahead and in their life. And in those cases, I am 100% for euthanization because those patients are older. They've lived their lives. They're usually in a lot of physical pain and mental pain, and them just being there is kind of lingering. So I am 100% for senior patients who choose that as an option for them to be able to have that right. I don't agree with suicide on a general basis simply because I think it's kind of selfish on the person who's doing the suicide, especially, you hear so many stories about, a dad who will lose his job and he doesn't have any more money, and so he thinks suicide is the only way out, and then he leaves behind his family, or a mother, who for whatever reason can't take it anymore and she jumps off a bridge, or teenagers who had their whole life to look forward to can't take being bullied and they decide to end their lives. Those are, for the most part, those are really bad reasons for suicide because there's usually some other way out of it. But again, it's going back to my first point, it's your body, so you should be able to make those decisions. It's just that I think that suicide in those options is really selfish. This woman, however, it doesn't give a whole lot of information. It says she was sexually abused from the ages of 5 to 15. And so I don't know what happened. Like, did she finally decide to seek help? Did she tell someone in her family? When you're abused at such a young age, you haven't had time to develop yourself, and your mental isn't fully developed. Therefore, that type of trauma, you do not hold the same capacity as adult to be able to get over it. So she had nothing as far as being able to get over that. And some people break easier than others. One person may be able to go through a child sexual abuse situation and come out of it broken, but still be able to kind of somewhat function in society. Other people, like her, it completely destroyed her. So you never know what the situation is going to do from one person to the next. All of these conditions combined, each one is hard to treat on itself. Anorexia is a lifelong condition that you need to treat. And then you have depression. They said she had chronic depression. She has suicidal mood swings, tendency to harm herself, obsessions and compulsions. All that combined with not having a lot of mobility. So I'm guessing here that she didn't really get out much. Maybe she didn't have a strong support system as far as friends and other resources were concerned, and maybe she felt this was her only way out. I really, I feel for her. Even though she's no longer with us. This happened actually more than a year ago, and the Dutch courts are just now releasing the papers proving they just wanted people to know that they follow a certain procedure when they're doing euthanization. I feel for her. I feel for the people who loved her because she was in her 20s and she felt there was no other way out. I support her decision considering her circumstances, but it's just a horrible case all the way around. What really concerns me though is now that people who are against euthanization, they will point to this case and they will say, oh well, people who are victims of sexual abuse will just, they can choose to have, they can have this option. So maybe there should be limits, maybe there shouldn't be. I don't know. I mean, if she was suicidal, I guess she could have found another way instead of legalized doctor assistance. But I'm still definitely for euthanization for people with terminal illnesses or people who are seniors and they know that they're going to progressively get worse. This is a hard one. Wow. That's just my thoughts on that. I hope that, she is not suffering any longer and that this was the best decision for her. Sound off on the comments, guys. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time.